Hey folks, it's Rithgar here, how you doing? Welcome to a brand new hardcore series on the Erlengrat map, pretty much where we left off. Now you'll notice that we have a little different amount of money, that's because I've already been spending it. So, I've given a lot of thought to how we're going to start this hardcore series. For those of you who are new to the channel, the hardcore series is the one where I try to be as realistic as I possibly can. And you can see that I'm being as realistic as possibly can because I just look cool. Full realism right there. Absolutely as cool as you can get. See? Yeah. Just don't tell Sen because she might disagree with that bit. Right, anyway, we basically, when we finished up, we had this land down here. We owned that bit there, and I'd done a load of landscaping, and I'd done a load of work, and then we sold it all, and we ended up with about 550,000 euros. The person who bought this from us has now restored it to how it was previously. So the trees are back and all of the work that we did is gone. So what I decided was, do I want to go there and basically repeat myself, or do I want to try something fresh? I thought, no, I want to try something fresh. So up here, there's a piece of farmland right there that's about the same price. It's a very long way from the town. And the hired help will drive all the way up here, but it does struggle on some of these corners. Still a logistical nightmare trying to get everything up here, despite the fact that it is absolutely gorgeous up here and we can make use of steep land. We're in the Alps. Steep land should be part of the challenge. We didn't really have steep land in the other one. There was a little bit of a slope, but not much. Ultimately, though, the massive distances involved have pushed me away from this bit right here, so I'm not going to buy that one. And instead, what I decided to do was I've settled on this one right here. This cost me 254,000. There's a lot of steep land all the way down through. There's rocky outcrops on it. We're going to have to do a lot of careful planning to put things down. I want to do quite a lot of different things. There's like greenhouses. There's various different animal pens that we can use. That area fits quite nicely. I've ruled everything else out for various different reasons. Oh! We really need to watch the traffic these days because it goes a lot faster on this map. It really does. It's insane the speed that everything travels on this map now. On any of the maps, to be honest. So we're going... This is our land. This is the bit that we own down here. This Mahindra is absolutely wicked cool. It is amazing for whizzing around on the map. I much prefer this one to the little old pickup that we had. Despite the fact the pickup was really useful, at the same time, I'm going to use this one instead. Now, originally, we started the hardcore series as like a contracting series, and we'll probably still do some contracts, but I want to focus more on our own land and building up our own property here. So, I'm not starting it completely with nothing, because that's a bit of a slog, and I don't really want to do that. I want to be able to get into using some of the different stuff. So we've got this land here. I'm going to jump down here. The shop. Now, in the hardcore series, the shop has a forklift available at the shop for loading up vehicles. This is leased, and the leasing cost that comes up every night, we just put that down to daily charges for various different expenses, you know, our food and stuff like that. But this one, the rule is this has to stay at the shop. We're not allowed to go and use it anywhere else. If we need to use a pallet fork out in the field, we have to go and get our own. We cannot use the shop one. This one stays exclusively on shop property. I had a look at different machinery and tractors that I wanted to get, and as you can see, I've gone for that Valtra. I wanted a decent-sized tractor to start off with, so with our 500,000 that we had left over... Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you where we got our Mahindra from. This one right here. We went away for a year. We went on holiday, and we took a trip to Monaco, and we did a little bit of gambling there, and we happened to win this one in a game of cards. So there you go. Gambling doesn't pay off, except this time it did. So don't gamble, but we actually managed to win a Mahindra Retriever right there. That's where that one came from. So we're not actually paying for that one. That's just like a freebie. That's an extra. That's what we came back from our holiday with. We drove this all the way from Monaco. So yeah, it only says 0.4 hours on the clock. That's because, you know, the mechanic friend of ours, he kind of reset it for us. Anyway, long story short, we now own a Mahindra. And then looking at the different tractors in here, like there's loads of different ones to choose from. They've even released the case there that we had in the last series. Giants released that as a separate mod, and they'll probably release a whole load of other machines as well. Ultimately, I thought the Valtra fit this map the best. The old Valtra Valmet was Finnish, I believe. I think it's from Finland. But it sort of fits this map better than anything else. So I've got a front loader on this one so that we can do pallet work, so that we don't need to get anything separate for doing loader work right now. The idea of this series is animals and root crops. We're going to be a root crop king. We're going to grow potatoes and sugar beet. Now, that's going to be quite a challenge on the steep land that I've gone and picked. And I did pick the steep land deliberately. I would also like to do a whole load of production stuff, because this new game is all about production. So I'm going to be doing greenhouses, and we'll be doing some other stuff. I originally said I didn't want to do anything to do with sheep or chickens or anything like that. It was just going to be cows, and that was going to be it. I have, however, changed my mind a bit on that, because if you go into the construction, we go to the animals, you've got these small pastures here. Now, this one, I don't want to use this one for doing milking. If we do buy this one right here, it's 75,000. You can only put 15 cows in it. But if we were to get that, I wouldn't want to do milking cows in there, because it kind of like doesn't really fit with milking. This one, you've got a milking parlour built into it. So it's 250,000, but you have got a milking parlour built into that one. So it makes more sense to me that you know, that one kind of fits. This one doesn't seem to fit milking. So if we were to use this one, it would be beef animals only. We have to wait until we got this before we can start producing milk. Horses and pigs, I don't know. I did originally talk about doing some pigs, but I don't want to on this series. I don't think it will fit very well. Sheep, though. Sheep will. Now, sheep barn, large. 65 sheep, large? Nah. Anyone who's ever kept sheep will tell you that 200 sheep is a very small flock of sheep. If you want a large flock of sheep, you're looking at 1,500, maybe 2,000 sheep. Right? 65, large, that doesn't compute. But that's the way the game has set it up, so that's what we'll go for. A small pasture like this, without actually any sheds out in the field, that's quite normal. Sheep are very hardy. They can go out in the coldest of winters without any trouble at all. We could always build them a little shelter right next to it if you feel that we should. But that would be a really good one to start off with. It's only 26,000, 15 sheep right there. And something that I want to show you with this as well, if we can go to a bit of land that we actually own now, which is all the way up over here. There. Now, that overlaps with another object, but these pastures are the only ones, like you go there, they've got to be straight. So they got well, at least the building does. It's got to be slammed into the hillside, so it costs a lot more. These pastures, the only bit that's got to be level is the bit at the front. So we could have our sheep pen. We could put a couple of sheep pens out, sort of where it's a little bit more level, and then we could maybe make some tracks afterwards to help level to that sheep pen as well. And that would fit. Right? We could put those in. So I quite like that idea. Also, the same applies with chickens. 6 grand there. We'd have to go and buy the wheat because we're not planning to grow our own crops like that. But cattle, well, beef cattle to start with in the small pens. Sheep and chickens, that sort of fits quite nicely, as well as the bees. And I'd like to get some greenhouses and start producing stuff there. Here's a I missed my camera mod. There was a camera mod that I had that came out really quickly, and basically it stops the camera from doing that whenever you pass something solid. Oh, how I loathe this. And that was one of the most popular, it was one of the most downloaded mods. Let me just do that a minute. It's now stopped doing it because it does actually clip machinery to the trailer now. Straps actually hold the stuff to the trailer. If you put bales on the trailer, it actually once you put the straps on, it does actually tell you exactly how much straw you've got on there. Right, it holds everything in place. I love this. Such a cool feature. Really, really awesome feature this is. So I'm really pleased that we got this. We're going to drive this up to our new farm, and then we can unload this little lot. And then we've got to decide what we are going to do. I think we may start off with some sheep. And that means that we're going to need to get some grass for them. It is August at the moment. So I need to bring this one on around here. And straight across at this roundabout. Around here. It's August at the moment, so we can cut some hay. And we'd be able to put that back for the sheep so that we'd be able to feed them through the winter. I've got it set on 2 days per season, but the way the game works is that the change doesn't take effect until next season, so it'll be 1 day for August. I think it'll go 2 days in September, and then it'll be fine. Oh, the pallet forks aren't actually clipped onto the bucket, and the bale spike is held on, but the pallet forks on the back on there, they're not actually held in place by the straps. Pallet forks are moving. They may fall off. We may have to go and get them back. Oh, I love this. I love this. Listen to him go. Oh, I thought for a minute like I just like found like a really difficult bit of land or something, and it was struggling. No, it's because I was sideswiped by a car. A lot of that. Car's beeping his horn behind me. Fantastic! Oh, that's so cool! The sound of that thing! This tractor's really... it's genuinely struggling to get up this hill. Oh, this is amazing! I haven't really paid much attention to the sounds. A lot of people have been saying the sounds are just glorious now. And here we go. We have arrived at our farm with our first tools and stuff. We've still got to get up the hill. Now we are farming in the Alps, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a challenge. A real challenge. Farming in the Alps. We've got steep land here. This is going to be glorious. This is going to be so insanely difficult to do. This is going to be absolutely glorious. So we're going to kind of need to... I'm not going to go and spend a load of money on setting up the yard at the moment. We will deal with that afterwards. I like this idea of starting off with a decent bit of money so that we can get some machinery going and we can kind of see how things go. Look at that! He's stuck! Yes, he is actually legitimately stuck on the hill. This is brilliant. Oh, I love this. Listen to him struggling. It's not doing that land a lot of good, is it? Oh, this is amazing. We are going to have so much fun with this series. Oh, this is so cool. He started moving just then. And then he paused to change gear. And that's so realistic, the way he changes gear. I'm going to be leaving it sort of automatic for the gear changing. I'm not actually doing it myself manually with a gear shifter. Purely because it's just going to be easier to sort of focus on the other stuff. But the way that he started moving just now and then changed down and... Right there, he just did it again! Stop changing gear, you fool! It's never going to work! Alright. Look at that bit. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, I am so going to enjoy doing this series. That's so amazing. Oh, wow. This is just brilliant. This is just fantastic. Little steep bit of ground in there. Go on, you can do it. You can do it. I'm going to have to change the sensitivity on my steering wheel. I have the sensitivity always set so that it's slightly lower than what it would need to be on, say, if I have the cruise control, just because it's easier to control. But I think I'm going to need full, flat-out throttle available to me whenever I need it, whenever I want it, while I'm working in these fields. Because, my goodness me, that was a bit of a struggle. Right. Okay. This is gonna be so cool. I want greenhouses and I want animals. Let's go and have a look at. I can't look at. I want to look at the. I want to look at that. I can't. Right. It's not gonna let me. That's fine. We'll just have to deal with it. I kind of wanted to get a little bit of decoration to mark the edge of where our property is. Just to give us an idea of where the edge of it is. So we could do a little hedgerow like this. These hedgerows are pretty good. You go like that. So we could do a little hedgerow like that. They're expensive though. That is quite expensive. You got a fence line like that, but just that little stretch there is $2.5 grand. Again, very, very expensive. There doesn't seem to be a cheap option for fences. So what I was actually thinking of doing was putting in a fence to mark out the edge of the land that we own, and then just refunding the money that I've spent on it, because I just kind of figured it would be nice to have something that shows what we own here. I also really like this fence pattern here. It's not like shiny new. Let's go this way. The sun there. Right, I actually quite like that one. You got another one here, which is even rougher than the other one. And this, I think, is quite cool. So there's that one is 100 a time. You've got this one, which is 75. That's the one. I've decided that's the one that we're going to have right there. I'm going to figure out exactly where the fence needs to go so that we've got it on our... See, this land is not owned by you. So I need to find the exact edge of the land that we do own so that I can put the fence down all the way through. So we've got land not owned. And basically, it will be a straight line. I'll bring it back in a little bit. So there's the land that we own, and it's basically just coming in a straight line like this. Right there. And that's the straight line there. So if I run this all the way up, unfortunately I can't put it through. It's colliding with objects in here. Can't put it through the middle of that, but what I can do is I can bring it down to here. This is colliding with objects. I can bring it up to there. And see, that's colliding with the stone there, so that doesn't actually work. So I can bring it to this point here, and I really like the idea of doing this. 18206. Bring as much as I can. Right, 18286. There we go. 18286. Let me write this down because I'll put this money back in. Right. I have gone and put the fence in there all the way down through. This shows the edge of our property here. That's just going to make life a little bit easier for us. So I'm going to add that money back in. Just so that we've kind of got that money there, and it goes all the way up through there. It's just a straight line all the way through. I've got a little bit of fence in here and a little bit up there, and then all the way down through to here. So everything on this side, we don't own any of that. See, land is not owned by you. We can't do anything with it, so this is going to make it a lot easier for planning out where we want to put stuff. Now, I'd like to put in some greenhouses, like I've said, and I'd also like to put in these animal pens. We've got a little bit of... There's more level land over this side. And I figure that if we were to start off with some sheep, we could put these down in here. It's 26,000 for a pen. Now, part of the leveling that it's... Well, the only bit that's got to be leveled is the actual front line of the pen. Nothing else on it really needs to be leveled out. So we could put that right down there, or we could kind of move it up the hill a little bit. But I figure that the hill up there is what we'll use for cutting grass. But it seems like such a waste to just go and plonk this down without doing anything with the grass here first. So I think we'll leave the animals for a minute. And instead, what we'll do, we will focus on getting some grass cutting equipment and cutting some grass around here. We'll cut the grass on this more level area, and then we can bale that up and we can put that aside for feed, and then we can put in some sheep and possibly put in some chickens as well, just to start off with. So we'll just bring that one down there. Like that, and I'll unhitch that one. Like that. And now I will take this one back down to the shop. So I'm gonna want... Do I take the trailer and try and put machinery on that trailer and do something with it? Or do I just leave that stuff there? That's trying to move around. The trailer itself is dancing. Look at that. It's because I'm so close to it. If I move away, it'll stop doing that. But I think it might be an idea if we actually quickly take those items off of that trailer. Just to make it a little bit safer. So we don't really want everything dancing off of the trailer. And we don't want the trailer running away either. I don't know if that's a thing now. So let me pick these items up. I think maybe it's just this bale grab that's the biggest problem. Now, for a mower, I'm going to bring these over here and I'm going to put them closer to the trees. We will do a little bit of forestry work as well. We will remove some of these trees and take the timber down and sell that. There's various different options that we can do with that. We can actually have the timber and turn it into furniture if that's what we want to do. Now, I know that there are some... I've seen the comments on various Facebook groups and in other places as well, YouTube comments, saying that there's always the no farmer would ever. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. If you tell me no farmer would ever, I can instantly find examples of a half a dozen farmers that are doing exactly what you said no farmer would ever do. And that includes having bright pink machinery, having a minion as a front weight. I did have in, I think it was an FS17, I used a minion as a front weight. It was a mod that was released. And I had quite a number of comments saying no farmer would ever drive with that. So I found a picture of a few, well, I found a few pictures of some real-life farmers that had minions as their front weights on their tractors and proudly used them on their tractors in their fields. And I included some of those in the videos. And I didn't get very many comments about no farmer would ever, at least not with the minions after that. I do get plenty of comments about that from other ones, but to say no farmer would ever, and yeah, no, that doesn't work. Like, no farmer would ever make their own cheese, is one I seen. Well, that I know is completely false, because a lot of artisanal cheeses, a lot of the smaller types of cheese that you don't get very much made, they're made by farmers. The farmers, they milk the cows and then they spend the afternoon turning the milk into cheese. It's quite a common occurrence. There's a lot of people around the world that do that, and it's the same with a lot of other things. So it wouldn't be entirely unusual for a farmer to not only farm but also do process timber and turn it into furniture. I've seen that happen as well. Now, there is one other thing. I've already gone and found the first cheese on this map, and that's something I just wanted to say. Right, excuse me. On the map, hidden in 12 different locations, there are 12 pieces of cheese. Now, I found one And these are very rare and ancient cheeses. They are worth 10 grand a piece. I am going to try to find the cheeses to gain us some extra money at various different points. It's no different to finding something in an antique shop and, doing really well. Or, there's 101 different ways that you can come into a little bit of money. So we get 10 grand from a piece of cheese. There was one of them was right there. That was the first one I found. And because I was recording when I did it, but I kind of messed up the recording, so I had to start again. But that bit, yeah, unfortunately, you don't actually have the video to that bit. So anyway, we've got 11 more cheeses to find. Now, I suspect, there's no guarantee that this is going to be the case, but I suspect there might be a piece of cheese somewhere around this church. And so this is what I want to have a quick look at and see if there is a piece of cheese near the church so that I can just show you the cheese. I might not actually pick up the cheese yet, but I would like to find the cheese. And I would like to make cheese myself. We definitely want to have the production chain where we put the milk in and we make the cheese. So I suspect that if the cheese is going to be anywhere, it'll be on the roof. They are pretty good at hiding things away in very difficult to find locations. So I have no idea where the cheese might be on this map. In any way, shape or form. I took a lucky guess and thought there would be something up at the ski resort, the big place up there. And that turned out to be right. But the church? No, maybe... Oh, there we go. I knew there'd be one near the church. So there is a piece of cheese right there near the church. Let's just bring that map up. So we are just on this side. Let's go here. There. Lower side there. So there is a piece of cheese. That will get us 10,000 euros when we find it. It's an ancient piece of cheese. Just left on a park bench. To slowly mature in the sun. Stranger things have happened. So we'll leave that one there maturing, and when we need a cash injection of 10,000 euros, we can go and get that little piece of cheese right there. I think that'll be absolutely fine. So now I want to go to the farm shop. I'm used to approaching the farm shop from this direction, so I'm not entirely sure where I should be going. We go this way. Garage right there. It's kind of sealed off at the back, and then we can just come up here. We have the Erlengrat chocolatier right here. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.